Alright, what's good, boys? Another day, another dollar. Hope y'all made some dollars today. We're going to focus on making dollars with the laptops now. So, just a little preamble before we jump into the laptops. Obviously, you can see in this direction. You can see some laptops. Sorry, some sneak peeks here. We're looking at the MacBooks first. But just a little preamble. So, just in case you skipped over and you didn't watch the phone section, the main thing I want you to keep in mind is that sell through is king. And that's the main thing that we're going to focus on is looking at the sell through. Especially when you're working with products of this pricing, as you can see, trying to get used to this this is kind of cool. So you can see this $800 laptop, you can see this $600 laptop. When you're working with stuff like this price, like as long as you're buying stuff correctly, for the right price, and you're selling it for the right price, you're gonna make money. You should be making money, even with your shipping included, even with the eBay fees included. If you're buying for the right price, there's no reason why you shouldn't make any money. So the main thing you really need to focus on is the sell-through rate. How quickly can I take in this example, how quickly can I take $300 or $400 and take it and list it on eBay and sell it for 600? How quickly is that process going to take? It's only going to take you an hour to drive out, buy it, whatever. And then the rest of the time it's going to be sitting on eBay. Do you want to be sitting on eBay for a week? Or do you want to be sitting on there for a month? Do you want to be sitting on there for 6 months? Do you want it to be sitting on there for a year? The crazy thing is that you can say, well, I don't know how long it's going to stay up there. I don't know how long it's going to sell. The thing is that the sell-through rate actually tells you. The sell-through rate exactly tells you how long it's going to take, assuming you price it right and you take good pictures. So that's what we're going to focus on. Just to recap, when you look at solds on eBay, it's going to show you the last 90 days. So, for example, this MacBook Air M1, it's got 1,200 listed. And we're going to check the solds. It's got 3,000 sold. So, about a 250% sell-through rate. These 3,000 sells are in the past 90 days. So, this means it's selling 1,000 each month, which isn't really useful. The amount isn't really useful. But just knowing the percentage, the equation, 1,200 listed, 3,000 sold, that's giving you about a 250% sell-through rate. 100% sell-through rate means it's going to sell in 90 days. 200% sell-through rate means it's going to sell in 45 days. 30-day sell rate would be 300%. So 250% sell-through rate is going to be, 5 or 6 weeks. So I already know if I purchase a MacBook Air M1, it's going to sell within 5 to 6 weeks. Okay, so that's the main thing that we're going to be looking at. 643 results. This is the same thing, just the M2 version. 643 listed, and we'll check the solds. The solds is beautiful, 300% sell-through rate. So this one's going to sell within 4 weeks. So if I've got the option to buy a MacBook Air M1 versus a MacBook Air M2, I'll probably take the M2. But the M1 is going to be less expensive. So it's like, it's all about what you can get your hands on, and that's why we cover so many different products. That's not why I'm just giving you, hey, this is the best laptop to buy. This is the best phone to buy. Because you might not be able to find those in your area. So we've got to be flexible. We've got to be ready to jump on any opportunity. And the only thing I can do is just help you be prepared for when that opportunity might present itself by giving you the information and telling you exactly what is good to purchase. And everything on this list, once again, is going to sell within 90 days. Of course, do your own research. Apple MacBook Pro M1. We've got 1,600 listed here. Let's go ahead and check the sell-through. We've got 4,000 sold. So that's over a 200% sell-through rate. The last MacBook we have on here is the Pro M2, 700 listed, almost 800 listed, and we will check the solds. We've got, once again, 250% sell-through rate. Let's check some of the prices on these. So the MacBooks are always going to sell really good, especially the super high-end ones. Like you can see, this is the M2 Max, 4 terabyte. Looks like somebody's calling me. probably someone that wants some money, so we're just gonna decline that call. I don't have any money for you. So you can see these are about $4,000. We'll check the Pro M1. These high end are gonna sell for about 3,000. Now, obviously, they're not all gonna sell for 3,000-4,000. It depends on the specs. So you'll want to make sure you're looking at the specs. And if you want to know how to research that, all you do is literally just type it into the search bar. So you can already see when I go into the search bar, it's giving me recommendations like 16 gigabyte, 512 gigabyte. Now this is going to be the RAM, random access memory. I would recommend looking that up in case you're not familiar. Basically, the RAM is basically how many different windows and processes you can have going on in your computer at the same time without slowing down. So an 8 gigabyte RAM laptop and a 16 gigabyte RAM laptop. The 16 gigabyte RAM laptop is going to run quicker and faster with the same amount of windows open. So that's good for people like video editors, photo editors, people that are running like streams, live streams, heavy intensive CPU work. And then this right here, 512 gigabytes. RAM never goes that high. So if you see like the absolute highest you'll see RAM go, it's like 128 gigabytes, absolute highest. Like that's extreme scenario. For the average consumer, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes is more than plenty. So when you see a high number like this, 512 gigabytes, that's storage. Typically it's going to be a hard drive, but a lot of MacBooks are going to have SSDs, as you can see. But for like a Windows laptop, I typically assume it's a hard drive unless it says so otherwise. But any hoozles. So we'll jump into the Windows laptops. So the first one we've got is the ASUS ROG Zephyrus. Now this has a couple different series in it. So you got like the G15, the G14. The different series are going to have different sell-through rates. But just for the ROG Zephyrus as a whole, it has a pretty good sell-through rate. So we've got about 533 listed. And if we check the solds here, we've got about 1,300. So over 200% sell-through rate. You can see if you go into the highest first, you can see which ones are selling the best. So you can see the Zephyrus Duo seems to be selling pretty well. So you can get your hands on a Duo, that would be optimal. But once again, remember that we're checking the sell-through. Okay, so just because it's selling for a high amount doesn't mean automatically that that's going to be a good thing to purchase and sell on our eBay store. What you'll want to do is search it. So we'll type in Duo. We've got 82 sold here. We'll check how many are listed. 73. So this is telling you that even though it's going to sell for a great price, it's going to take a little bit longer to sell. So in that case, you need to make a decision. Is the amount of money I'm going to make on this item, this laptop, worth the amount of time it's going to take to sell? About 100 to 110 days. So that's a decision for you to make. If you want my opinion, what I would recommend is pulling up a calculator and just mathing it out. And I'll show you what that math equation kind of looks like. So let's just go back to the Zephyrus Duo, for example. And let's go into the solds. And highest first. So I see one that's sold for 3,500. Okay. So let's say, what's a good price to maybe buy this for? You know, maybe if somebody was selling on Facebook Marketplace, maybe I could buy it for 2,500. Okay, so that means we've got $1,000 in gross profit. If we want to calculate eBay fees is probably, I don't know, let's say 10%. So let's take 100 off, and let's say it takes us $25 in shipping and shipping materials. So we've got about $875 net profit. Let's say it costs you $25 in gas and vehicle wear and tear. So $850. How many days is that going to take to sell? Well, we know the sell-through rate is under 100%, but not too far. 82 sold and 73 listed. So that's about, you know, 100 or 80 to 90% sell-through rate. So it's going to take about 110 days. So it's making about $7 a day. Okay. Obviously, it's not making you $7 a day, but if you average out per day. Okay, so let's take another item, for example, Apple MacBook Pro M2. And let's just take one of these real fancy ones. We'll take this one right here that sold for $6,500. How much could I buy this on Facebook Marketplace for? Maybe $5,000. Okay. Minus 150 for eBay fees, 25 for shipping, 25 for gas, 1,300. And then what's the sell-through rate? So we've got 2,000 sold, 800 listed, so it's about a 240% sell-through rate. So it's going to sell within about 6 weeks. So then we'll divide it by 6 weeks, 7 days. What's that? 42. So this makes about $30 a day. Okay. So that's how I break down the math. Meaning the Apple MacBook Pro M2, if I had both of them next to me, that's how I do the math. Obviously, you know, I put in placeholders for the buying price for what I bought it for. So if you have one that you're going to purchase for less, then you can adjust the numbers. If you got one you can purchase for more, you can adjust the numbers. But that's what I'm showing you. The Zephyrus Duo, you know, probably not a good buy, even if the price is great, unless you're buying it for a great price. Then that completely changes everything. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So we've got the Dell Latitude series. The sell-through rate on this is pretty basic. We've got 36,000 listed, 39,000 sold. This is a laptop you can basically find any place, anytime, anywhere, and you know it's going to sell in 90 days. Next, Dell Precision, 4,700 listed. Let's go ahead and check these solds. 7,100, so pretty decent sell-through rate. And these get pretty expensive. Unlike the Dell Latitudes, typically you'll find these a little bit less expensive. A lot of these are just lots, 8 lots. Got a Dell Latitude Rugged. That's pretty interesting. Haven't seen one of those before. But yeah, the most of these high listed ones are just lots compared to the Dell Precision. Got some fancy ones in there. Dell XPS 13. Now this is part of the XPS line. The 13 series specifically is something that I really like. We've got 1,000 listed, and if we go into the solds, it's got over 200% sell-through rates, and you can find these for pretty expensive, but it's gonna sell really well. You know, I'm probably looking to buy one of these for like, you know, used. I'm hoping I can get one used for like 800 and flip it for around 12 to 14, depending on the line. You know, specs is everything, guys. You know, really just doing your research on the specs. Laptops are really the hardest when it comes to reselling, but it's also really the easiest once you just put in the smallest amount of effort. And that small amount of effort is really just taking the 2 seconds to look up on eBay the sell-through rate. That's literally it. Like, look up the sell-through rate of whatever laptop you're buying and make sure the sell-through is there. And that little research is going to put you so far ahead, because a lot of those laptops could be really just gems, and people are just going to look over them because they just don't know what they're looking at. And that's the problem for a lot of us too, because we don't know what we're looking at either. But once you start looking things up, everything starts to make sense. Got 2,000 listed for the EliteBook 840, 4,700 sold. Same thing for the 830, over 200% sell-through rate. So both of these EliteBooks are good to sell. A Lenovo 500E, we've got 96 listed. This is a bit of a low-key one. 124 sold, so decent 125% sell-through rate. That'll sell probably about 70 days. 1,800 results for the Ideapad 3, and 2,300 sold. I know personally these are really popular, like corporate laptops, and a lot of businesses will buy these, you know, refurbished or good condition to give to their employees. You can see it's like a really good price. It's not like a trash laptop where it's like $50 or $100, but it's not super expensive either where it's running them like $1,000. They're pretty affordable, like $200, $300, $400 laptops. They're really good to just like give to employees. So the Ideapads are always going to be in style. Thinkpad, same thing, 17,000 listed. And if we go into the solds, we got 27,000 sold. And same thing, like these are really popular corporate laptops. I'm actually surprised I don't see lots on here. People selling lots of them. Oh, here's one of them. Looks like a lot. But that is actually it for the laptops. So the next one we've got is the next section, I should say, is going to be watches. So I'll see you there. Bop.